Hi everybody, I just want to take a few minutes here to show you how to set up a beautiful dashboard such as the one I got shown here. If you have multiple streams of income and you'd like to be able to track them on a daily basis and then be able to look at them at a glance and see how each is doing, this is probably the best way you can do it. You need Microsoft Excel. I'm not sure if you can do this in Google Sheets or not. So what I have here is 9 different charts. It shows an overall total and different charts for each income stream. So I have several different income streams set up. I'm not making a big lot on each one as of yet because I just haven't had the time to put into it. But hopefully one day it'll be my main source of income. So what I have here is Adobe, YouTube, Etsy, Amazon, ClickBank, Creative Fabrica, VECTEEZY, and Shopify Digitals. So I'm going to show you how I set this up. So I'm going to click back to my data sheet here. So in here you can see that I have a spreadsheet set up with date and then a column for each of my income streams as well as a column for the total of each one. That I'll show you how to set up in a different video. So you can see here it starts off at February 28th and with 0000. And then these are not actual numbers. These are just randomly generated numbers that I created just to be able to speed up the process of inputting the data so that I could show you how to do the dashboard. So let's get started here. So what you want to do is you want to go to a new sheet. After you have your spreadsheet set up, you go to a new sheet, and you do this by clicking the new sheet button at the bottom here, the little plus sign. So now up in your top right hand corner here, sorry, left hand corner, I'm left handed so I get my lefts and rights mixed up all the time. So in A1 cell you're just going to go into insert and you're going to go pivot chart. And when you click on pivot chart it gives you two options, pivot chart and pivot chart table. I'm just going to click on pivot chart because I think it does pretty much the same thing. Okay, so now it's asking you to select a range, a table or a range. So to get the range, we have to go back into our data tab. So what we want to do, we want to get all this data. So what we could do is just highlight here in A1 and just drag right down to the bottom of the data. So say right here, and that would be your range. The only problem with that is it'll only read down as far as the last row that you have filled in, the last row that you have highlighted. So my last row is row 52. So if tomorrow I put in for April 20th a row, when I update my charts it won't take that into account because it's only going to read down as far as 52. So we don't want to do that. We're going to modify this. What we're going to do is we're going to grab the letter value at the top of each column and we're just going to drag it right over, and that way it'll read down to the very last row. So whatever that may be is fluid, so you can put in 100 more rows, 1,000 more rows, it'll read all the data. So that's how you do that. So when you get that selected you just click OK and it'll take you back to your sheet where you're setting up your pivot table and your chart. So this will be the first chart that we're going to have. So you want to click on date over here in the pivot chart fields and you want to click total. So that's going to show you the values from your total column for each month that you have in there. So I'm just going to put that to the side. Next I'm going to click in the next column, the next empty column, C1, and I'm going to do it again. And I'm going to do the same thing for every single field that I want to track. So you go in insert, pivot chart, click table range, go back and get exactly the same data again. I've tried using control click to segregate different columns so that I didn't have to select them all, but it doesn't work that way. It won't let you do it. So you have to select them all. So I say OK. Now I'm going to go in here. And I'm going to start one by one with each stream of income. So the first one's going to be Etsy. Okay, so that's my second one. I'm just going to stack them here. And I'm going to do that for each income stream. So in E column, insert, pivot chart, go back to data, highlight each row, or column, sorry, and say OK. Okay, that last one was for Etsy. The next one's going to be for Amazon. Okay, so you can drag that one over. Click your next empty column. Do the same thing again. I probably don't need to go through each and every one with you, but I will. Pivot chart. Grab your data. Okay, this one is going to be for YouTube. And drag that over as well. You have to keep these charts. If you delete the chart, you still get the chart. If you delete these pivot tables, you still get the chart, but you can't update the data. So just leave these as is. We can stack the pivot charts over top of this so you don't have to see it. Okay, we're going to do it again. Insert, pivot chart. It's a little repetitive, but if you only got 8 or 9 to do, it doesn't take that long. Okay. Last one was for YouTube. This one will be for Creative Fabrica. Anybody don't know what that is? That's for graphic design. You can go on and for creators, you can go on and get all kinds of different graphics and stuff. I subscribe to that, and I also have a affiliate link to it. So if anybody subscribes up under my affiliate link, I'll get some of that revenue. So I check these every morning, and I'm going to update my data sheet so that I can go on and look at my dashboard. Okay, so last one was for Creative Fabrica. I got 3 left to do. So we're going to click in here, insert, pivot chart, get our data, and highlight. You can do this for anything. It doesn't have to be streams of income. It could be for different products that you sell. Okay, Creative Fabrica, Shopify Digitals, drag that over there. Okay, next, insert, pivot chart, get our data again, almost done with the data. Shopify Digitals, this one is for ClickBank, so you want to make sure you got date and ClickBank. Because you have data in there for more than 1 month, it'll give you the option of showing the data for each day or for each month. So if you unclick months, it shows you for each day. If you click months and date at the same time, it shows you a bunch of mess is what it is. So just unclick that. Alright, so we'll drag that over there. And I think we have one more left to do. VECTEEZY. VECTEEZY also is a site where I have an affiliate account. I use it quite often in my graphic design for my products that I sell. I do get a portion of the revenue from that as well if anybody signs up for a monthly package. Okay, so one left to do where we're going to go into Insert, Pivot Chart, click in here, Table Range, go back to Data, and highlight it all and say OK. Okay, so now we have all our pivot charts. So I'm going to click Date and VECTEEZY, and it's going to give me the monthly values for each one. Okay, so I'm going to drag that over there. Now this, you can hide all this. You don't ever need to touch this again once you get it set up. So what you can do is you can highlight these 6 rows and right click and say hide. And bang, they're gone. Okay, so I'm going to start. This one is the one for total, so we're going to start with that one. I'm going to drag all these down roughly into place where they're going to go. I'm going to resize them all first so that they fit nicely. It's really very easy. It's a little intimidating, but it's really easy to set up once you know exactly what you're doing. So I'm going to set the size on these. So to set the size on it, you just click on it, and on the right hand side here it says pivot chart fields. We don't want to deal with the fields right now. We'll just click X to get rid of that, and we're going to right click in here, and we're going to say format chart area. So now it gives us a bar at the right hand side where you can go in and format. So to format the size, there's a little icon here. If you hover over it, it says size and properties. So just click on that, and we're going to put that at 2.75 by 4 inches. Okay, and that's the standard size that we're going to use. I'm not really sure if you can highlight more than one at a time to format it. I'm going to try it, because if I can, it'll save a lot of time. So just click that one, hit your control key, and click this one, and yes, you can. So 2.75 by 4. There. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight the rest of these and do them all at the one time. Okay, I thought I had more than that. Maybe not. Okay, I missed one somewhere along the way. I'll do that one in a bit. So we got them all highlighted here by just holding our shift key, or sorry, our control key. Go back into your little icon here, size and properties. 2.75 times 4. And now they're all exactly the same size. I just got to figure out which one I'm missing. So it doesn't matter. You can set them up with any combination that you want. Just try to line them up the best you can. I haven't really experimented with any automated alignment features on this. Okay, so it looks pretty boring right now. So what we want to do is format these now to make them look really nice. So just click in the first one here. What we're going to do is set up a format, and we're going to copy it to each different one, so we don't only got to do it once. So in our total, if you click on the main box here and you right click, you can say format chart area, and you can go in here, and there's the second one down on my page here shows the totals. So if you click on that, shows the totals at the top of each column. Now it looks lovely, but I don't really like that it's right on the top here. So we're going to fancy that up a little bit. So we'll just click in here. And when you click on one of these bars, it highlights all the bars in your chart. So if you right click and say format data labels, so all the data labels here you can format. So you go over to the right hand side here. So this is dollar amounts. We want to set that to a currency. So once you got them highlighted and you click format data labels, you can come over here. Right at the bottom here it says number. So under category you want to choose currency. I don't want the dollar sign on there. So let's see. Under symbol, you can take that dollar sign out. Right now it's showing dollar sign. Take it out and click none, and it takes out the dollar sign. So we also want to do something else a little different here. We want to have these data labels at the bottom of the bar. So let's see. I did know how to do that. I'm just going to try and find it again now. Under Under size and properties, vertical alignment, it's not there. Let's see. Okay, we want to choose label position. In here under these label options with the 3 bars, we want to choose inside base. So what that does, it brings them all down to the bottom, the base of the column. You can't really see it right now because the bar color and the text color is very similar. So to change that, we just go into fill, and we want to choose text options. Color, we're just going to set it temporarily to white so we can see our labels. Okay, so it shows you the numbers right at the base of each graph, each bar. So now we're going to change the background color of this. So click on the main box of your chart. You get a little icon comes up here with a paintbrush. You can do that here, or you can do it over on this side. I'm just going to click in here and choose color. The background color that I want is black, so I just scroll till I find black. Oh, that didn't give us the background color. It gave us the bar color. So let's choose green for the bar color. Okay, so just click off of that now, and then you click back on there, right click, and say Format Chart Area. Over here under the paint bucket, you go under Fill. There's no fill area right now. We want a solid fill. And right here at the color, you can choose whichever color you want. So you can choose blue, any kind of color. And you don't necessarily have to go with the colors that are here. If you want something like this hot pink and you can't find it, just go in here under your paint bucket tool, go under more colors, and now you can pick any color that you want. If you have a logo with an actual hex code in there, you can paste the hex code in here if you want to make it all match up to your branding. Let's see. We don't want that. We just want plain old black. So we'll just go down to black. Hex code for black is hashtag 0000000. Say OK. So now our background is black. But our labels are not very readable. So what we want to do, we want to go into text options. And we want to change these labels to white. There you can see your labels. Okay. Okay, so there's a lot more fancier things that you can do with this. You can make these bars a little wider. We're just going to leave them at that for now. So we want to save this style. We just click in here, we right click, and we'll say save as a template. So it asks you where do you want to save it to. It under your app data in your Windows folders here, under Microsoft Templates Charts. It saves it in there. You don't have to worry about it. It's automatic. So we're just going to put in test chart, black and green, and we hit save. Okay, so now we want to update each of those with the same formatting. So I'm not sure again if you can do more than one chart at a time. I'm just going to click on that one, and then I'm going to hold my control key and click on that one. I don't know if it'll let you update them all at one time. I'm just going to right click. No, it doesn't. It won't give you the option to format the charts if you got more than one selected. So you have to do each one individually. Okay, so just click off it. Click in there, right click. Change chart type. So in here you can select which type of chart. You can click the line, graph, or area, or you can go into templates and you can see the template that I just saved is there. So if I click here, oops, click here and hit OK, that automatically formats that chart for me. This label, I'm going to change that to Etsy. Oh no, it's not. It's Shopify Digitals. I'm going to move this label over. And I'm going to do the same with each of these now. This one is Etsy. Oops. Just drag that over here, out of the way. Okay, right click. Change chart type. Templates. This is a cool one too. I like that. Got like a gradient background. Each of the bars has a bit of a gradient to it. But I'm just going to go with this one now to make it all consistent. Okay, so we'll do that for each of the rest ones here. Oops. Just bear with me now while I get these updated. It'll only take 2 shakes of a dog's tail, or a lamb's tail, however the saying goes. Whoops, I'm missing one. I gotta figure out which one it is. See, Shopify, Etsy, ClickBank, YouTube, Creative Paprika. Let's go back in here. Adobe. I don't have Adobe. So I'll go back. Oops. Adobe. So I'm going to add one more. I'm going to click here. Actually, I'm going to unhide what I've hidden. Unhide. And I'm just going to scroll over here. Click in this column. Top of this column. Insert. Pivot chart. Get my data. Okay. This one is Adobe. Date. Adobe. And I'll double click here. Okay, and I'm going to format the size of this as well. Format chart area. Go in here. 2.75 by 4. Done. Okay. So I'm going to hide these rows again. So it's 1 to 6. I'll just highlight them all and hit hide. Okay. So our resolution here is 100%. So you should be able to see all the graphs. So I'm just going to line them all up properly, which they look pretty good to me now. Okay. So everything is done now except for the formatting. So right click. Change chart type. Go in templates, choose your template. Okay, so you can see everything at a glance now. You can see the dollar amounts for each month for each different stream of income or product or whatever you want to set up here. Anything that you keep track of in Excel, you can create a dashboard. This is a very simple dashboard. The reason that these little buttons are showing up here is because we have the pivot charts. They're variable. So what happens if you update your data? Okay, so we're up to April. Let's see. I'm right up to April the 19th here. I have some formulas in here that generate random data, so I'm just going to create some more rows, some more daily records very quickly here, because that's how I set it up. We're going to put in quite a few. Okay, so now we're right up to August. So now I go back into my sheet where my dashboard is. It still only shows for April, as far as April. So what I got to do, I got to highlight each one, right click and say refresh data. And now it refreshes every single one. So isn't that cool? So let's just zoom in a little bit so you can see. I might change the formatting on these because it's a little bit, the text is a little bit hard to read here. Let's see. Let's right click that and see if we can make these a little bit wider. So we don't want the data labels themselves, we want the bars. So just click so that the bars are highlighted. And then you can go into change the gap width. So right now the gap width in this is 444%. So we're just going to slide it down a little bit. And that makes the bars wider. Makes the gap a lot less. Okay. And I'm also going to change the background on this. I'm going to change it from a, let's see, change it from a solid black to some sort of dark gradient. So to do that, you go into your paint bucket here and it asks you what type of fill you want. Right now I have solid fill selected. I can choose a gradient fill, a picture fill, or a texture, a pattern fill. Possibilities here is endless. So I'm going to choose a gradient. So what a gradient, anybody doesn't know, a gradient is just where one color fades into another color. So this is our gradient stops here. So if we want to make that a little bit faded in the background, it's quite a lot faded actually, I don't really like it. We can just double click on this color and go into this color picker and we can choose any kind of color, but I would like to have something that's not black but is not far from black. Oh, that's pretty cool too, it looks like a gold. So we'll go into more colors and we're going to choose, so if I want it totally black, I'd go down here. I want just not quite black, it's kind of on the brown range. Let's click over here. So there's a little cast of red to it. Let's see. So when I say OK, changes, you can see that there's a little bit of a red cast to this. I'm going to zoom in a little bit more so you can see it. So that's how the gradient works in here. If you want to put in more stops, you can change to different colors. So you can have as many stops in there as you want, and each stop represents a different color. So whichever one you got highlighted here, you go into color, and you see that it puts a gray haze on it. So we're just going to go into more colors. I'm going to go back over here into the reds, and I'm going to make it a little bit of a different red. Okay, so if I drag that over here, the color closest to the left is the color in the middle. If I drag it over here and drag this one over here, the black is in the middle and the red is on the outside. I can just get rid of that too just by highlighting it and hitting the little button here with the X says remove gradient stop. Okay, kind of like that. I moved the black over closer and just the borders are red. Move it over and it stretches out the gradient a bit. Okay, so I think we're good there. Now, for our bars, if we want to change the color of those bars to a gradient as well, we can do that. We can just go into, just click on our bars, oops, click on them, click all of them, click them again and it selects all of them. So if we don't want any fill, that's no good. That would be good if you just wanted to see the values and you didn't want to see the bars, but it doesn't give that same visual. So we're going to choose gradient. Oh, that's a little weird, isn't it? So that's a radial gradient. Let's choose a linear gradient. Angle is 45. Let's change the angle to a 90. Let's change the angle to a 0. And one side of the bar is highlighted and one side isn't. And that gives a 3D dimension. So if I took this red and actually if I took the black here, took the red and put another black one in here, it gives a bit of a 3D dimension. It's nice, but I don't want red because my background's red. I'm going to change that to say an orange color. Oh yeah. So you stretch these back out and it gives you this cool effect. So let's zoom that out now and see what it looks like. I think that looks pretty good. So I think I might like to have my whole entire chart done like that. So I'm just zooming out to 100% now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click in here in chart area and I'm going to right click and I'm going to say save as template. And I'm going to call that red, black with gold bars. Okay, so that's saved now, so it's pretty simple to just go in and update each one. Change chart type, templates. I wish you could highlight each one and do them all in one shot, but unfortunately you can't do that. Probably is a way, I just have not figured it out yet. So I think that looks pretty nice, and beauty about this is you can format it however you like. You can make them any size that you want. You can put one on each different page, on each different sheet if you like. You can have a tab for Etsy, a tab for Shopify, a tab for totals, whatever you like. It's your dashboard. When I get this all done, I'm going to black out the background, and if there's any borders on these, whoops, I picked the wrong one. If there's any borders on these charts, we'll get rid of those as well. Make it look seamless. So if you find this video helpful, I'd appreciate it if you gave it a thumbs up, leave me a comment, and subscribe to my channel. And hit the bell so that you can be notified when I make new videos. Really helps my channel out and helps me create more content. I know a lot of things and I like to share it around, so that would be most appreciated. Okay, so we have our charts all formatted. We're going to hide these bars at the top again here. I don't know why I got all this. Let's just hide that away. Hide. Okay, so now I'm going to zoom out a little tiny bit. And I'm going to grab cells from here up to the origin point, which is 1A. And I'm going to go into home. I'm going to give it a black background. Okay. Or maybe I should, no, that's okay. I'm going to zoom back out now to 100%. Yeah, we're at 100. Okay. This looks a little weird up here. Let's see, what did I do? We'll unhide that because it's cutting it off for some reason. Unhide. Ooh. We're going to have to reform. I'll have to reformat these, but you get the idea of what I'm doing here. Let's just change the size on these because it's very irritating to me. 2.75 is the height we want for those. Okay. There you have your dashboard. Again, you can highlight it, format it any way you want, whatever looks good to you. If you really don't want these labels here, you can highlight all these. If you find that distracting to look at, you can highlight them all, and you can create a new sheet and just copy, Control-C, go into your new sheet and hit Control-V. That gives you, oh, it kept the formatting. Oh well. So another thing you need to know about this, if you want to change the months, if you only want to see certain months, you can go in to this little button here where it says months, and you can say take select all off, and you can choose just March, April, May, let's say. Say okay, and now it gives you just March, April, May. So if you want to go back to the way it was, just go in here, click the little button, and say click filter, clear filter. Okay. So I hope you liked this video. I hope you found it helpful, and again, please consider subscribing to my channel. Really appreciate it.